Hi, I'm David Johnson, and this is Verse by Verse. In what has been called the golden age of television, one of the most successful shows was called The Millionaire. The premise of the show involved a fabulously wealthy man who anonymously gave tax-free gifts of $1 million to people he did not know. His executive secretary would show up, hand the recipient a cashier's check for $1 million, and the rest of the show would be about how the gift affected that person. Sometimes their life changed for the better, sometimes for the worse. The underlying key to the show's success was that virtually everyone who watched was imagining what they would do if they were suddenly given $1 million. Those same dreams of sudden wealth and what it would bring are still a part of our world today. It is the desire for the benefits wealth can bring that has driven the explosion of gambling in our society. Estimates are that Americans spend $200 billion every year on legal gambling. And according to the American Gaming Association, the word gaming sounds more respectable than gambling, Americans spend $150 billion each year on sports betting alone. And that was in 2024 when it was just getting underway. In one recent year, over 20 million U.S. adults self-reported that gambling had caused them to do deceitful and harmful things they would not have done otherwise. Of course, gambling is just one of the many ways people try to acquire wealth in today's world. Recent estimates say that there are roughly 3,000 billionaires in today's world, and a few who are approaching $1 trillion of net worth. The multi-million-dollar salaries of many business executives, investment gurus, athletes, and entertainment figures, along with the lavish lifestyles they live, can look awfully appealing to a person who's working hard every day just to barely make ends meet. The Bible, and especially the book of Proverbs, contains a great deal of advice about the desire for wealth. God is not opposed to wealth, and some of his servants were fabulously wealthy. But wealth often brings with it many challenges and troubles. King Solomon, in spite of his flaws, was a king who had everything the human heart could desire, but he failed to be faithful to God as his father David had been. Jesus Christ rebuked the church in the ancient city of Laodicea because their wealth deluded them into thinking they were spiritually rich and could handle any problem on their own. God warned that having a love for money was a pathway that would become a root of all kinds of evil and would cause even believers to stray from the faith in their greediness and pierce themselves through with many sorrows. With Paul's words in mind, let's consider a short passage from the book of Proverbs. Proverbs 10, verse 22. The blessing of the Lord makes one rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. The first concept in this verse tells us that it is possible to be rich without being wealthy. It's not physical wealth that gives a person a rich and rewarding life. Solomon used his physical wealth to purchase anything that appealed to him. He acquired 700 wives and 300 concubines. He had servants of all types. He had singers and musicians. He worked on great building projects. And yet, when we read his own description of his life, it's clear that he continually found it all empty and meaningless. He had everything going for him, but he may have ended up as one of the greatest failures in all of biblical history. Gambling or some other get-rich-quick scheme can sound appealing, but God makes it clear that no matter how much physical wealth a person acquires, honestly or dishonestly, it can never shield him from the sorrow and heartache that is so much a part of life for those who don't live God's way. A happy and successful family, the knowledge that your work is genuinely benefiting others, having a clear conscience at the end of the day, having enough money and resources to abundantly meet the needs of your family while also having enough to be of help to others who have genuine need, these are the elements that make a person truly rich. While we must be diligent in doing our part, these are blessings that come only from a right relationship with God. It is both ironic and sad that the words we read were probably written by Solomon himself, who learned by bitter experience that the blessing of the Lord makes one rich, and he adds no sorrow with it.
Verse by Verse is a Life, Hope, and Truth podcast. Check out the show notes to find more free content, like videos, articles, and booklets in our Learning Center.